We're joined now by the former US Assistant Secretary of State for Political and Military Affairs, Brigadier-General Mark Kimmitt in Washington, D.C. Thanks for being with us. So as we've heard from all the spokespeople, no official confirmation yet of this. But if it is confirmed, how does it play into the tactics of Islamic State as you know the group?
Well, actually, I think it's counterproductive to their aims and aspirations. They somehow think that this is going to weaken the resolve of the United States. And I think that's a cultural misunderstanding. Acts like this actually have a tendency to stiffen the resolve and actually add to the justification for action against the Islamic State. How
difficult is it going to be to deal with what Islamic State is appearing to morph into? We were hearing from Sue Turton, our colleague on the ground there, about the kind of things that they're leaving behind. If they do leave an area, a whole array of improvised explosive devices, is there enough expertise on the ground for the people who are fighting against Islamic State to handle that kind of legacy if they do leave areas?
Well, I think that they have the personnel on the ground, certainly, and they have somewhat a majority of the expertise that they need. I would suspect that they're going to need additional capabilities for mine clearing and for mine detection, and that might require bringing in advisors and facilitators from other countries.
How sophisticated is Islamic State in terms of the kind of equipment they've got and the sort of things that they're laying when they do leave?
Well, frankly, people have a tendency to project ISIL as 10 feet tall. As a military force, they're relatively average, but they seem to have a particular expertise in their ability to control the narrative, to control the media, to have these sensational videos that are good for not only recruiting, but for terrorizing foreign countries. But as a military force, they're average to below average.
Is there a danger, in your view, for the United States to be dragged into this further and end up having to, have an operation which is bigger than airstrikes and advisors on the ground?
Well, I think the president at this point is seeking to have any further physical support, people support, to be done as part of a broader coalition. But at this time, it would seem that the Kurds and the Iraqi security forces are not asking for more people, not asking for more advisors and mentoring, but they're asking for more equipment. It was pretty dramatic, the shift in the ability of the Kurds and the Iraqi Special Operations Forces when they started getting the F-16s and the F-18s supporting them over the shoulder, how they were able to retake the Mosul Dam, how they were able to retake Amerli. So I think what we really need to be seeing is more will out of the Iraqi security forces and more support, indirect support, being provided by the international community.
In terms of Syria, though, operating from the sky over Syria isn't possible at this stage, is it?
Well, at this point, there hasn't been a decision made by either the United States or the international community. But if there is a desire on the part of the international community to rid itself or significantly mitigate the threat from ISIL, that can't simply be done inside of Iraq. They are going to have to stand up to the threat, the sanctuary and safe haven that Bashar al-Assad is permitted to have inside of Syria for the Islamic State.
How difficult is the situation politically in the United States in terms of this all playing out? I mean, it's always, things are always very divided politically. Do you think that there's any kind of overall will to cooperate in terms of both sides of the aisle coming together in terms of a strategy?
Well, frankly, events like we're seeing today, if in fact this video turns out to be true, makes it much easier for the country to come together on both sides of the aisle. So as I said early on, this act and the killing of James Foley has been counterproductive to the aims of the Islamic State. If they are trying to keep America out, they're going exactly the wrong way about doing it.
Okay, Mark Kimmitt, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us. Appreciate your analysis.